What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Like a Boss, new movie out in theaters. Well, it's probably not out in theaters anymore. Starring Tiffany Haddish, Rose Byrne, Selma Hayek. It's a comedy movie. A movie that's, wasn't necessarily excited to go watch, but was planning on going to watch it just because Tiffany Haddish is in it. I was hoping for just, most comedies in general, sadly, are not really great movies. The writing generally in comedies tends to be pretty bad. Acting, directing, there doesn't seem generally, not always, but there tends to be not a whole lot of attention paid to the artistry and craft of filmmaking when it comes to comedies, and it's disappointing. So I didn't have high expectations going into this. I hoping for some funny scenes with Tiffany Haddish, and there were some fun scenes. I mean, Tiffany is definitely the best part of this movie. It's about her and her friend. They have a makeup business that they started together, and they're being approached to be bought out by a large corporation that's run by Selma Hayek. And in that, of course, it's going to change what their brand is and change who they are. And her idea, her plan, Selma Hayek's plan, is to kind of divide and conquer to try and destroy them. So the story and all of that is pretty whatever. They, of course, have other friends that are, more grown up, I guess you could say, that despite, Tiffany's character and Rose Byrne's character both have kind of sacrificed having more of a traditional family and kind of a lot of things in their life to follow their passion of growing this business. So they have friends that are kind of bitter about it or whatever. But there's some fun scenes. There's a scene where they all get together and, Rose Byrne's character decides to fuck with Tiffany's character by putting more ghost peppers than need be into her ceviche. But, I mean, so many of these scenes are so stupid. I mean, even that, like, it wasn't a ghost pepper. Is clearly like a jalapeno that was being chopped up. But, it's like, well, we can't just say jalapeno. We need to make it really, really hot. And then, I mean, it was a funny scene. There's also another scene where Tiffany goes to smoke weed, tries to go, or no, that wasn't even her. It was her friend going to smoke weed. There are a lot of just kind of casual weed smoking scenes, which I enjoyed. I enjoy seeing characters just kind of smoking weed. Just like you see characters casually drinking alcohol in movies. So I did enjoy that part of this movie, but there is a one weed scene where she's smoking weed, and she doesn't realize that her friend's kid is in the same room. She's smoking weed. So she decides, along with Tiffany, they decide to go out the window for some reason, like to hide. And then their friends find them outside the window, hiding from smoking weed. And then they threaten to jump off the roof into the pool to kind of escape, as if their friends are like the police or their parents or something. And even after they catch them, they're like, they jump in a pool for literally no reason. Literally no reason. And the party is huge. There's a lot of people involved in this party that you never meet. I mean, just overall, this movie is really not good. There's so many things that happen that in this movie that are just like, it's like they had these funny like scenes, I guess, and it's like, let's cobble together a movie to kind of have an excuse to do these scenes, but the scenes by themselves aren't necessarily that interesting or funny. There's points where they go into, like, they're being offered, they're in a bunch of debt, they can't afford to run their business anymore. And they get this offer from Selma Hayek and she runs like this big beauty conglomeration or whatever. And she herself used to be part of a duo and they split apart. So because of that, she wants to ruin everybody who has a friend that they're working with to follow a dream. They should all die and burn in hell. So that's her goal for some reason, is to acquire a brand, if only to break this friendship apart. So when she gets this brand, like she's like, okay, if I'm gonna invest all this money, I need you to tell me how you're going to change your brand to fit in with my brand, which doesn't make any sense. Like if you're going to buy a product, then or a brand, then you're doing it because you like what that brand is and it has a value to it. Okay, so when you buy something that has a value to it, you don't go and then change that thing because that's why you bought it, because it was a thing. You don't buy it to change. Like Facebook didn't buy Instagram to turn it into something else. They just bought Instagram and now they own Instagram, and Instagram is Instagram and doing what Instagram does. It's not like it was folded into the Facebook ethos of anything, you know? There's a lot of kind of just stupid parts, but it is what it is. It has some heartwarming moments. It's a light, fun movie. I wasn't bored at all in this movie. It was just a pretty fun, decent time in the theater. Just, you know, I don't know. Nothing was surprising about it. Everything that you kind of see where this is going, you know, the whole thing. And then towards the end, they realize, they figure out a way to get back at Selma Hayek's character. And it's just, I don't know, the whole thing is the whole movie is really bad. It's really bad. I don't know if it's the worst. It could be the worst Tiffany Haddish film with Tiffany Haddish in it that I have seen. And she's in a lot of like romantic comedies and stuff like that. They're all fun. They're all funny. They're decent. They're decent movies. Even the Tyler Perry movie, Nobody's Fool, I think it's called. Pretty decent movie. I think it's probably the only Tyler Perry movie I've ever seen. But it was a decent movie. This one, whatever. What I would recommend, if you're looking for a Tiffany Haddish movie, and maybe you're looking for a Tiffany Haddish movie that steps out of the kind of rom-com, whatever kind of typical comedies that she's been doing, The Oath, it's on, I want to say, it's either on Hulu or on Amazon Prime. But it's a kind of a dark comedy, and she's not the main focus. She's like the wife of the main character, and it's more of a dramatic role for her. But it's a dark comedy, so there tends to be more characters tend to be handled a little more seriously. It's not as just kind of wacky. Well, we're in a comedy, so let's just be stupid, because stupidity is funny. It's like most comedies, like, oh, I know how to be funny. Let's make everybody stupid, and then they do stupid things, because that's funny. Dark comedies tend to not be that, because they're not unless it's like Death to Smoochie. Almost literally, that Smoochie is kind of that kind of a character, but The Oath is a pretty fun comedy movie that Tiffany is in that kind of shows that she's got more range than just being a badass because she is the best part of this movie. I would imagine the good parts of this movie were things that she convinced the writers to change. But overall, it's just kind of a mess. Not surprising it came out January, this time of year. It's kind of rough. But yeah. Go watch Like a Boss if you want. It's not a horrible time. It's like if it goes on streaming and you want to put something on in the background, it's worth a shot. But I wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't a fan. Tiffany is great. The weed scenes are fine. I just enjoy the fact that there can be casual weed smoking scenes in movies, and it's not like, it's not by like a character that's a worthless stoner, Like finally culture is moving past the stigma of smoking marijuana. But that's it for this episode. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go buy my artwork over at inspireddisorder.com and save 25% when you use coupon code RTS. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out.